In California, we don't have mortgages.
Correct.
Trust deeds.
Correct.
And the reason we have a trustee
is because the lender, California uses trust deeds because it is very fast, quicker to foreclose. They can foreclose in 4 months, where if they had a mortgage, it would take 2.5 years. So I have not seen a mortgage in the last 10 years on a house.
Right. Now, about that forgiveness of debt, mortgage debt relief on a short sale, let's say if it goes to foreclosure and the bank takes a loss,
then there is no forgiveness of debt. It's a little funny situation if any people lose their property to the trustee's sale. When they lose the property to trustee's sale and it's lower than what they paid for it or whatever, that is treated just like any other sale, and you pay the tax, capital gains tax.
Right.
And as you know, then there's that $500,000 or $250,000 exclusion, so they can use that if there's any gain.
Got it. Okay. Now, in terms of the recourse loans, non-recourse loans, those, regardless, those are still, the sale still takes place at the county courthouse?
Yes. Whether anybody that forecloses on a property, no matter what type of loan, it has to go through the trustee sale and it has to be auctioned.
Okay, let's speak about that. Ideally, if somebody knows they have a short sale, a situation, they should contact the lender as soon as possible and let them know what's going on, or perhaps their realtor.
I would recommend they contact an agent who specializes in short sales.
Okay.
I would ask them, I would recommend they interview 2 or 3 agents and find somebody who actually can say, the question would be, have you completed, not have you done any, have you completed any short sales?
Right, that's the key question, because you could start 5 and close 1?
Yes, so have you completed any short sales, and find somebody who knows what they're doing.
Okay, so after you start that process and a home doesn't sell, now the lender says you're far enough behind, you have no buyers, no short sales to look at anyway, no offers, we're going to start the foreclosure process.
Correct. That would start that.
Okay, now what is the first thing that happens under
the homeowners out there, the first notice that they would get would be a notice of default given to them by a trustee. It has to be mailed to them, and so they will get this notice of default.
Okay.
And that says, hey, and it's a big notice that says, hey, you may lose your property.
And that's in 90 days?
3 months.
3 months. Okay. And now what about there's another 21 days.
So at the end of the 3-month period, that's called a notice period. At the end of the 3-month period, then the lender can start their advertising of the trustee sale, which would take 21 days. It could be scheduled, and then the sale is held. Now, it can be postponed. And one of the things that, if they're working on a short sale, one of the things the public should know, it's not a big deal for the lenders to postpone a trustee sale. It doesn't cost them any money. So if they're trying to work on a short sale and the time frame is getting short, they should have the loss mitigation department contact the legal department and have it postponed.
Good tip. Okay. Now, in terms of the payback period, in terms of if they cure the loan, sometimes will that start it over? No, the 90 days? Let's say if they're 3 months late and they say...
If they're 3 months late and they got a notice of default and they pay it up, they have to pay up not only the past 3 months, but they got to pay a very expensive trustee's fee, and they got to pay a very expensive title policy that the trustee has to buy. So letting it go to notice of default can be very expensive. It's not like an eviction.
Okay. Now, in the past, you've heard about the deed in lieu of foreclosure. However, I've never heard of one taking place. Can you explain why?
Because the lenders don't want to take a deed in lieu back. Now, in fact, some people thought they'd just go ahead and give the lenders a deed in lieu, and the lenders passed a law that they don't have to take them. So they just ignore them. And I have not heard an institutional lender take one back.
That's where they mail the keys back?
They mail the keys back and hope they'll get out of it. But the lenders got to go through the foreclosure to clear liability.
Okay, and the reason that is because there might be a first loan, a second loan, then a mechanics lien, IRS liens, and then property taxes, of course, which run with the property.
Correct, they come forward.
Okay, so by going through the foreclosure process, the bank comes out on the other side with clean title.
A clean title,
subject
to the property taxes.
Okay.
And even HOA fees are wiped off, so there's a lot of stuff wiped off.
Okay, what type of advice should a licensee be giving their clients who are experiencing this default process? Should they be contacting the lender? Should they be talking to an attorney?
They should find, the real estate agent should be talking to them, find out what their problem is, and a real estate agent should not practice law. They should
Right.
definitely, I get questions from agents, and they should not even be involving themselves in that.
Right.
These people need attorneys many times.
Right.
The biggest thing the agent can do is maybe get some civil codes and give them actual printed information. Like they should print out Civil Code 1690. No, Civil Code 2924 would be great to give out for the people, because that would, there's a Civil Code section 2924, and this tells all the time frames that you just asked me. It's downloadable from the Secretary of State's website.
Sure.
And hand that out. It would answer all the questions, and you're not practicing law.
Yeah, but that's what when the licensee, once there's that notice of default, the licensee better not practice law and say you should talk to an attorney, you should talk to your tax man, you should seek counsel.
They should not even be doing it before the notice of default. They should be just giving advice, and many times the advice is get an attorney.
Now, oftentimes there's a sign in the lawn, and the licensee gets a phone call, and the occupant says, well, we finally got our notice of default. So that's...
Well, if it's listed, that's no problem. And if the property is sold to somebody who's going to live in it, there are no problems. The
Okay.
biggest problems are when they're showing it to investors.
What about the bankruptcy? I understand that slows the process
Oh, that
down.
would slow it down. Yes, that would stop everything. It's called a stay of execution on all lawsuits. Stops everything.
Now, in the past, that would be oftentimes people that were in trouble learn that, oh, if they file bankruptcy, they can put off the foreclosure, live there for free for a while until they get their house in order.
But
So
if
to
they go and complete the bankruptcy, that's the worst thing to have in your credit than a foreclosure.
It's, yeah, okay.
Many
go ahead.
times a person, depending on their tax status, should talk to a CPA, and it might be better for them to actually go through a foreclosure because they might have forgiveness of debt and other questions. So they should also have to talk to a tax person.
Right, okay, 'cause that's very important because the laws change with bankruptcy,
Oh, yes.
right? And so sometimes if the occupant, the seller, is filing bankruptcy to put off the foreclosure,
It could be more expensive than going ahead with the foreclosure. And
And
I know
then-
if they don't have any money at all, attorneys aren't going to file bankruptcies for people that don't have any money.
now let's say that for people that have gone that route or borrowed and got the money to go do that, then the lenders can come in and say, let us out of this bankruptcy, there's no equity there anyway, and then the whole purpose of it is moot.
Correct.
Okay. Closing here with the sale. If you're buying one, what's the red flags? 30 seconds. What's the red flags? What's the good thing? About if you're a buyer of a foreclosure, do you sit on the courthouse steps?
So you have to go down, you have to do a lot of due diligence beforehand. You got to check the property out and make sure the loan status, because you could be buying a second instead of a first.
So oftentimes you know what the bid's going to be on the courthouse steps
Yes.
on the 15th of the month, so you need to do due diligence what the property's worth?
And come there that day knowing everything.
Okay. Duane Gomer, thanks for coming out.
It's a pleasure to come to San Jose.
You're welcome here anytime, my friend. Thanks again for watching Kapowich on Real Estate. This is a program dedicated to risk management in the residential real estate arena. Please watch us next week, and we will be rerunning Duane Gomer, broker and trainer.
Trainer.
There you go.
And
Thanks.
educator.
And educator. Thanks again.